This country on earth, would you please honor our nation and stand? Gentlemen, please remove your hats for tonight's invocation and the playing of our national anthem. Before tonight's invocation, we would like to take a moment and honor one of our champion drivers, car owners, and sponsors who passed away yesterday. He started racing here in the late 50s. When he stepped out behind the wheel, he helped his sons, grandsons, his family and friends race, whether it was owning, wrenching, or sponsoring. Dave Gilland also owned and operated Haas Body Shop. He is survived by his wife Joanne, his children Mike, Steve, Lisa, Debbie, Connie, and many other loved ones and fans. Midvale Speedway would like to send our condolences out to the Gilland family. Would you please join us in a moment of silence for Dave Gilland? Lord, we thank you for all the blessings you give us each and every day. We thank you for another day on this beautiful planet you created. We ask that you please point us all in the right direction and show us to appreciate each other each and every second we have, because time is so precious. We ask that you watch over our drivers, teams, crews, officials, and our wonderful fans. We ask that you please continue to watch over our men and women in uniform that protect and serve this great nation. We ask this in your Son's name. Amen. I want to thank Mackenzie Pringle and Mark Romar for presenting our colors tonight with the Midvale Karting Series here this evening. And they will race around intermission time, around the same time we do the cruise in. Field in turn number 3, looking for chief starter Terry Coletti's green flag. 8-lap heat race number 1. Caution on the speedway for a failed start. The Mountain State Missile, Jonathan Ritter, Tom Stankiewicz, Bubba Smith, Alex Rosenberry, Ryan Tedesco. They'll look for the green off of turn number 4, and green is in the air. Smith will take the lead on the bottom lane. Galt will slip back on the high side. Here comes Ritter for the second spot. Bryant Smith, your leader. Jonathan Ritter to second. Glenn Galt Jr. in that crate engine falls back to third. Bubba Smith will look to his inside in turn number 1. Bubba Smith and Glenn Galt Jr. battle for the third spot. Stankiewicz in 5th, Tedesco 6th, Rosenberry 7th. Bryant Smith, your race leader in the number 1. Now Bubba does move up to the third spot, move Bubba Smith to third, and Stankiewicz sideways off of turn number 2, looking for the 4th spot in the bottom lane of Glenn Galt Jr. He will take it over, move Stankiewicz to 4th, Galt to 5th, Rosenberry 6th, Tedesco 7th. Halfway home, 4 in, 4 to go, Bryant Smith. Bryant Smith with a couple of weeks left to gain some ground on brother Bubba for that point championship in this late model division. Currently doing what he needs to do by leading heat race number 1. He has Ritter between himself and his brother. as Tedesco and Rosenberry battle for the 6th spot behind Glenn Galt in 5th, Stankiewicz in 4th, Bubba in 3rd. The Mountain State Missile runs 2nd. Bryant Smith, your leader. Off turn number 4, white flag for Bryant Smith. Coming across the line, heat race number 1 to Bryant Smith. Jonathan Ritter will finish 2nd, Bubba Smith 3rd, Tom Stankiewicz 4th, Glenn Galt Jr. 5th, Alex Rosenberry 6th, and Ryan Tedesco, who pulled off a lap early. Pulling to the line, your heat race number 1 winner. In the Canton Auto Salvage, Finish Line Designs, Freedom Auto Finance sponsored number 1 ride from Canton, Ohio. Put your hands together for Bryant Smith. Again, we'll have our McDonald's Cruise In, the 29th annual McDonald's Cruise In at intermission, along with our junior champs and senior clones, Todd Ripley from Uricksville, Mike Miller from Clinton, Gary Hoopengarner from Perry, and the Hamster from Akron, Ohio, as they'll look for chief starter Terry Coletti's green flag. 8-lap heat race number 2 is green. Monar will get the advantage using the bottom lane. Hoopengarner tries to fight back in the outside lane. Monar's going to take it. Here comes Miller. Hoopengarner looks to close the door, doesn't quite close it all the way. Miller tries to get to the 2nd spot. Gene Monar Jr. will lead lap number 1. Here comes Todd Ripley on the outside lane in the 22. Gets the door closed by the 45 of Hoopengarner. Has to check up. Nice job by Todd Ripley of not destroying a couple race cars on the back straightaway as he checks up, as Hoopengarner slid high. And now Ripley will battle for the 3rd spot with Mike Miller. Bob Snyder Jr. looks on in 5th. Gene Monar Jr. still your race leader. Way upstairs in contact with the turn 4 wall is the 6 of Larry Baker. So lots of damage to that number 6 machine. Looks like going to have more than just body work. Right front suspension damage on the 6. Tough break for Larry Baker. Field in turn number 3, Monar and Hoopengarner. Look for the restart green flag. 2 in, 6 to go. Green back in the air. Hoopengarner got a good restart, but was unable to close the door on Monar. Those two will battle side by side. Now contact off of turn number 2. Everybody piling in, hard contact. Doesn't close the door on the 22 of Ripley. They'll race side by side down the back straightaway. Mills again almost clear of the 22. Side by side off of 4. Mills sideways. Todd Ripley doing a good job underneath that number 4 of Mills. Mills sideways off of 2 again. Ripley has cleared the 4 of Mills. Mills will continue to stay in the high lane. Sideways again off of 4. Miller going to pull pit side in that 53 machine as Johnny Hughes will move up to the outside of Mills to take over the 2nd spot. Hughes will take over the 2nd spot from Mills as he's off the pace. 2 laps to go for Todd Ripley. White flag for Todd Ripley and Johnny Hughes. And heat race number 2 will go to Todd Ripley. Johnny Hughes will finish in the 2nd spot. Matthew Mills will finish 3rd. From Uricksville, Ohio, in the Route 39 Auto Salvage, Rick Watson Trucking DJ Auto Detailing sponsored number 22. Put your hands together for heat race number 2 winner, pulling double duty tonight, Todd Ripley. Bailey and Cox off of turn number 4. They'll see Chief Starter Terry Coletti's green flag. Bailey and Cox side by side in turn number 1. Cox going to get a good run off of turn number 2, not going to be able to pull out to the race lead. Bailey will maintain on the bottom. Brandon Bailey will lead lap number 1. He has Cox cleared, and here comes Lucas Ripley for the second spot. Lots of contact in turns 1 and 2. Cox way up the racetrack. Ripley going to take over second. Green to third. Allensworth to fourth. And Cox and Sibla battle for fifth. Brandon Bailey out in front, the grandson of Joe 9 that used to run the number 55 here at Midvale in various divisions. Halfway home, 4 in, 4 to go for the Rooster. Lucas Ripley, who his father just picked up a heat race win in the late model division, runs in the second spot in that number 0, picked up his first career feature victory a couple weeks ago. Then the 36 of Mike Green, who picked up his feature victory 1 week ago. Bryce Allensworth won his first career feature victory earlier this season in that number 21, and then Philip Cox has had some great runs in that 09 this season. His best finish was last week as he picked up the runner-up spot. Then the 82 of Sibla and the 24 of Jewel off turn number 4. White flag in the air for Brandon Bailey. Green thought about taking a look to the inside of Ripley, thought better of it. Checkered flag to Brandon Bailey. Lucas Ripley will finish second, Mike Green in third, Bryce Allensworth fourth, Philip Cox fifth. Pulling to the line, heat race number 1 winner, Summit Racing Economy Modifieds. In the number 55, Scio Car Wash, Heronmore, Vaughn's Pub and Grill sponsored machine. Put your hands together for Leesville, Ohio's Brandon Bailey. 8-lap heat race number 2, Summit Racing Economy Modifieds. Is green. Ripley will get the run down into turn number 1. Embry about a half a car length behind. Here comes Braden Swaney. 3 wide, thought better of it into turn number 3. Embry battling back on the high side and will lead lap number 1. Swaney continues to look to the inside, looking to go 3 wide. Here comes Ripley to the race lead as Embry slips off of turn number 2. Swaney will move up to the second spot. Good battle for fourth between Bowers and Krebs. Swaney again tried to get to the inside. Ripley closed the door off of turn number 2. The 10 of Embry slipping back into the third spot. Now fourth spot as Bowers moves up to third. Matt Hutchison will move into the fifth spot underneath the 40 of Krebs, and the 46 of Slentz spins off of turn number 4, bringing out the caution. Looking for the restart off of turn number 4. And green is back in the air. Swaney and Ripley side by side through turns 1 and 2. Down the back straightaway. Swaney will lead at the line. Here comes Bowers looking for 3 wide. Bowers way low on the racetrack, gets down on a bumble strips. As Swaney about a half a car length ahead into turn number 3. All kinds of action. Heat race number 2. Ripley battling back. Swaney still continues to lead at the line. Bowers runs second. Bowers in third. Hutchison in fourth. Todd Ripley battles back in that 65. He will lead at the line. Here comes 3 wide again into turn number 1. Contact between the 65 and 27. Swaney will slip back to the 5th spots now as the 0-2 of Mike Bowers will swing around, take the race lead. Ripley back to 2nd. Good move by Mike Bowers. White flag in the air. Hutchison looking to the inside of Ripley off turn number 2. He'll take over 2nd. Here comes Sean Kaufman for 3rd. Off turn number 4, heat race number 2 to Mike Bowers. Matt Hutchison will finish 2nd. Sean Kaufman in 3rd. Todd Ripley in 4th. Braden Swaney in 5th. Keith Krebs in 6th. Nathan Embry and Joe Slentz rounding out the top 10. From Massillon, Ohio, and the Massillon Engravers, Tim's Custom Car Center sponsored machine. Put your hands together for heat race number 2 winner, Mike Bowers. Field in turn number 4. Oliver and Bertram, green flag in the air. Bertram trying to hold the 44 of Oliver down to the bottom of the racetrack. Teddy Oliver, many-time champion in this division when it was the Pure Stocks. Driving for Larry Smith tonight. He's going to lead lap number 1. Bertram runs 2nd. Colton Ritchie runs 3rd. Bob Passwater Sr. in 4th. And Kyle Grove is now, Passwater Sr. makes some contact with Ritchie. And Passwaters may have flattened the right side tire. Ritchie continues in 3rd. Grove up to 4th. Passwaters back to 5th. Oliver and Bertram, a little bit of contact in turn number 1. That 44 machine picked up the feature win with Larry Smith at the helm 1 week ago. Kyler Bertram still looking for his first. Colton Ritchie has picked up 2 feature victories on the season. Kyle Grove has numerous fastest times, leading the qualifying chart. He has 5 feature victories on the season, champion in a compact division. And Bob Passwater Sr. sitting 6th in points, or I'm sorry, 3rd in points. Junior 6th in points. Passwater Sr. is 3rd. 2 laps to go for Teddy Oliver. Point battle on the racetrack for 3rd, Ritchie and Grove. Ritchie on the bottom, 15-year-old rookie. The veteran, but a rookie in this division, Kyle Grove, will take over that 3rd spot. Checkered flag for Teddy Oliver. Kyler Bertram will finish 2nd. Kyle Grove will finish 3rd. Colton Ritchie in 4th. And Bob Passwater Sr. in 5th. See what happens in feature competition. But in heat race number 1 from Canton, Ohio, in the Stewart's Flooring, Joe's Auto Service, Appliance, and More, sponsored number 44, put your hands together for Teddy Oliver. And the green flag is in the air, heat race number 2, Wisman and Moss. Moss and Wisman, all kinds of contact, and Wisman into the wall hard off of turn number 2. So the field gets the 1 to go. 8-lap heat race number 2. The 77 machine still very much in play for the 2015 championship. The green flag is back in the air. Barker will battle to the high side of Moss into turn number 3. Barker on the high side, Moss on the bottom. Moss slips just a little bit, maybe got into Barker a little bit off of 4. TJ Barker, your race leader. TJ Barker on the bottom of the racetrack, your race leader. Josh Moss runs second. Bob Passwaters Jr. runs third. And Kylie Wood out there getting some experience in at number 22, her second night out. Runs in the 4th spot. 3 laps in. Halfway home for the 11 of T.J. Barker. White flag for T.J. Barker. Moss still holding on to the 2nd spot. Passwaters Jr. in 3rd. Kylie Wood in 4th. A little bit of contact down in turn number 1 as Moss lays the bumper to Barker. Now he's going to try the high side. Slips up in turn number 3. Not going to make it work. Going to lose the 2nd spot as T.J. Barker will pick up the heat race win. Bob Passwaters Jr. finishes 2nd. Josh Moss trying for that win. Drop back to the 3rd spot. It's heat race number 2 from Canton, South Ohio, and the Canton Auto Sales. Red Dog Saloon, Country Mart, Canton Auto Salvage, BW Home Improvement sponsored. Number 11, put your hands together for T.J. Barker. Alan Bedard from Yorksville, Ohio. Green flag is in the air. 8-lap heat race number 1 in your mini truck division. Joe Leinard got a great start as he jumped to the outside lane and will take over the race lead around Cody Jayberg as Varn spins in turn number 3. Joe Leinard, your race leader. Jayberg back to 2nd. Here comes Colt Locker in the 118 as Varn sits in turn number 3, and caution will wave. So, with that being said, Joe Leinard is your race leader. The code man, Cody Jayberg, runs 2nd. Colt Locker 3rd. Derek Cordia 4th. And Keith Anderson 5th. 1 lap in and 7 to go, I think. So Leinard will take over the race lead. He had it before, so I don't know how he took it over, but he's leading anyway. Cody Jayberg, Derek Cordia got that 118 and 32 trucks boxed in. That is a good sign for Leinard. As Cordia tries to swing to the outside, gets that limousine machine a little loose. Now 3 wide into turn number 3. Jayberg doing a great job in that 2nd spot as Leinard continues to pull away. Here's 3 wide again. Here comes Anderson on the high side. 3rd groove, maybe 4th groove. Almost 4 wide. Cordia way up the racetrack. Here comes Anderson. Going to take over the 3rd spot. Finally, Jayberg. Now Cordia spins and Anderson spins. Simultaneous spins. Look like they were doing synchronized swimming over in turn number 4. As the green flag back in the air, Leinard and Jayberg. Jayberg got a good restart. Side by side down the back straightaway. Here comes Anderson way up the racetrack. Now tried to make it 3 wide. Cody Jayberg closed the door with Leinard closing the door on Jayberg. Leinard will continue to lead right at the halfway point. Leinard on the bottom. Anderson going to look for that top lane. Here comes Colt Locker trying to get around Cody Jayberg. Side by side for the race lead now. Leinert on the bottom. Anderson on the top. Into turn number 3. 2 laps to go. Leinert trying to hold that 32 truck up to the high side, but not going to happen. Anderson way up the racetrack, going to give that bottom lane to Leinert. Good battle up front between Joe Leinert and Keith Anderson. Lots of victories between those two drivers here at Midvale Speedway in various divisions. Leinert trying to pick up that first checkered flag of 2015. 3-way battle into turn number 3. Anderson, Leinert, Locker off turn number 4. Heat race winner, Keith Anderson. Colt Locker will finish second. Joe Leinert in third. Cody Jayberg in fourth. And Derek Cordia in fifth. A lot of rumors out there of guys building trucks for next year. And hopefully we'll have more next year for the mini truck division. Pulling to the line in the Doggone Trucking, M&D Design, sponsor number 32 from Barnhill, Ohio. Put your hands together for Keith Anderson. Larry Ennis Jr. in that number 50 for Joe Oliver and Wes Ennis. Green flag is in the air for the Turtle and Van Meter. Side by side off of turn number 2. Van Meter slides way up the racetrack. The 15 of Finlayson tried to fill the hole in the middle. Didn't make it work. Now he makes contact with the 27 of Van Meter as the 69 of Albright will be your race leader. Alan Clark runs second. The team cars, first and second. Jayberg up to the third spot. Youngster Gage Jayberg currently second in points up to the third spot. Salisbury battling with Van Meter for fourth. Jake Albright still your race leader. Alan Clark takes a look to the inside of the teammate Albright, unable to make it work. Now here comes Salisbury for the third spot. Blaine Salisbury, your feature winner 1 week ago, looking to thread the needle. The door closes, so he'll settle back in the third spot on the inside line. Gage Jayberg still there to his outside. Clark sideways by himself, now back up onto the racetrack. Continues to go. Alan Clark really held up the 4 of Salisbury, but it sure helped the 21 of Jayberg. Jayberg second in points. The 69 is third in points with Dan Bucky, the normal driver, the champion from a season ago. Had a lot of damage 1 week ago, and Albright's out in that newer 69 with a new scheme on it. Don't know if it's a new car or not. I'm going to guess it probably is. Is Jayberg side by side for the race lead now. Three-way battle for the top spot, and it's going to be 3 wide into turn number 3. Salisbury on the bottom. Albright in the middle. Jayberg on the high side. Salisbury's going to come out with the race lead. Blaine Salisbury. Here comes Alan Clark working his way back up after he had that spin. 3 wide for second. Jayberg and the 69 of Albright get tangled in turn number 4. Blaine Salisbury going to be your winner. Alan Clark will finish second. And the Turtle, Jake Albright. Pulling to the line, picking up right where he left off 1 week ago from Sherridsville, Ohio in the Take 2, Bucky Mowing, Wissman Motorsports, Beaver Creek Landscaping, sponsored number 4. Heat race winner, Blaine Salisbury. 28 for the heat race only is Doug Finlayson. In the Minerva Kick It for Childhood Cancer, Stark County Walk for Autism Speaks, sponsor number 28 of Jim Keller. Laney Stresky will take the race lead off of turn number 2. Shalosky slides way up the racetrack. Stresky into turn number 3. Clayton Oliver trying to thread the needle. So Laney Stresky, your race leader. Shalosky runs second. Here comes Oliver looking to go 3 wide. Thought better of it. Good battle as Laney continues to lead, as she's had a very up and down season in that 17. 3 wide behind her as Oliver finally gets up to the 2nd position. Shalosky all the way back to 5th. Laney Stresky picked up a couple feature victories in her career and lost a motor about mid-season and missed quite a few weeks because of that. They were trying to diagnose the problem, and she had a couple bad finishes, but back with the new motor and back leading a heat race with Clayton Oliver on the outside of her. Christian Bailey, Mike McDonald, and Shalosky, your top 5. And Doug Finlayson driving the Jim Keller 28 ride in the heat race tonight, rounding out the field. Stresky continues to lead. Christian Bailey and Oliver battle for 2nd. Into turn number 3. Laney Stresky doing a great job with 2 laps to go. Christian Bailey, Clayton Oliver, 3 wide for the race lead. Bailey takes over the 2nd spot. Oliver does the crossover. Stresky trying to hold the bottom of the racetrack, make him go around the outside, and they're going to go 3 wide once again. Laney continues to lead at the white flag. Oliver trying 3 wide once again, puts Bailey way up the racetrack. Final time, down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Does the youngster pick up a heat race win? She's gonna, because Oliver and Bailey make contact. Laney Stresky will win heat race number 2. Kyle Shalosky will finish 2nd. Christian Bailey 3rd. Mike McDonald 4th. And rounding out the field will be the 46 of Bailey. Pulling to the line, heat race number 2 winner, the youngster from Louisville, Ohio, in the Senior Ponchos, Canton Auto Sales, Greg's Recovery, TNT Tanning, sponsor number 17. Put your hands together for Laney Stresky. Heat race number 3, Canton Auto Salvage Compacts. Looking for the green flag off of turn number 4, and we're green. Butts will lead into turn number 1. Butts will slip. Butts falls to the rear in the number 11, but the 30 of Heron is your race leader. Something happened with the 30 of Heron as he had problems off of turn number 2, and that moves Brandon France up to the race lead. The 6 of Hunter, Dakota Hunter, to the outside of Brandon France for the race lead. Tough break for Corey Heron as Durbin and Hunter Corbett battle for the 3rd spot. Butts runs 4th. 5th, rather. Brandon France, your race leader, holding off the challenges of Dakota Hunter in that number 6 machine. As we'll move into halfway this time around. 4 to go for Brandon France. Dakota Hunter runs 2nd. Garrett Durbin runs 3rd. Hunter Corbett in 4th, and James Butts in 5th. Good battle for the race lead between Brandon France and Dakota Hunter. Hunter trying high, trying low, unable to get around France in that 38. Durbin and Corbett, good battle for the third spot. White flag for the 38 of France and the 6 of Hunter. Hunter leads at the line, almost a dead heat. France slides up the racetrack, going to take back the race lead off turn number 2. Good battle for third between Durbin and Corbett. All eyes on the race lead. Brandon France, Dakota Hunter. Off turn number 4, Hunter gets sideways, and Brandon France is going to pick up the heat race win. I'm sure he wishes it was a feature. Dakota Hunter will finish second, Garrett Durbin in third, Hunter Corbett in fourth, and James Butts rounds out the top 5. Pulling to the line, heat race number 3 winner, in your Canton Auto Salvage Compact Division from Dover, Ohio in the DeVores Auto. Repair, rent to own. Amsoil, Pauline's Place, Allen's Muffler, sponsor number 38. Put your hands together for Brandon France. That was a rookie burnout. That was terrible. Nice. That's terrible. There you go. Bonnie gets it. It's the Saluka family. The stalker. See, he knows how to do burnouts. That's why you don't let a female try and do burnouts. Hey, now I'm going to go ahead and go to the infield so I don't get nothing thrown at me like Jason did last week. Might not want to try a burnout with a Mustang. Might not want to try it. Okay. You know that Mustang, they almost blew that thing up. It's a Ford. Yes, sir. Jason Morgan out there in his Eclipse. Want to make sure we send out well wishes to Randy Smith's mom and Linda Morgan's mom, as she's been ill the last couple weeks, and want to wish her well wishes and thoughts and prayers to the Smith family. I'm disappointed. Where's Elvis? We ain't got no Elvis. Nothing. Then, oh, nice. See, now that's how you do a burnout. Need to go over there and show that lady how it's done.
Well, it's a Chevy.
You're right, Terry. It is a Chevy. They do burnouts. They got a little more power than them Fords. Yeah, no Tom Spiker tonight. The Music Man, nothing. Come on, burn it down one time. She ain't got no more, she says. Yeah, nice. I'm going to talk to the stalker real quick. Hey, man, so you went and bought you a muscle car. Do you like this better than the race car?
Yeah, less drama and less.
All right. Hey, good to see you, bud.
Thank you.
The stalker, John Saluka, former winner here at Midvale Speedway. See, he can burn it down, too. Also a track champion down at 250 Speedway and a track champion up at Hilltop. The 75 looks like she's in the third spot. Try and get the numbers down here from the flag stand. We'll nuzzle up to Chief Starter Terry Coletti. Is Colton Ritchie going to come up and do a little flagging? The 15-year-old point leader, normal flagman for the Midvale Karting Series. Going to throw the green for him. And the green is out. We got the 13 machine is Talon Timberlake. Talon Timberlake in the 13. The 7 is Maddie Nichols. The 75 is Mackenzie Pringle. The 4 is Madison Bland. And the 3 is Sam Bingham. Mackenzie Pringle, your race leader. As Pringle crosses the start-finish line, the number 13 of Talon Timberlake runs in the second spot. Maddie Nichols runs third. Oh, sideways. In turn number 2 is Talon Timberlake. She gets her machine pointed back in the right direction. Mackenzie Pringle with a big lead in the 75. Good battle for second between the 7 of Maddie Nichols and the 3 of Sam Bingham. Also the 4 of Madison Bland right there. And the 13 of Talon Timberlake was in the second spot, now running at the back of the field. 12-lap feature for our junior champs of the Midvale Karting Series. They'll run their event tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. You can see the Chief Starter Colton Ritchie on the flag stand. Our points leader, 2-time feature winner this year, rookie driver in the street stock division. Pringle way out in front in that 75. Almost a half a lap lead over second place runner in that number 3 machine is Sam Bingham. Bingham into 3, runs in the second spot. Then Maddie Nichols runs third. Madison Bland in the 4th spot. And rounding out the field, Talon Timberlake. Halfway home. 6 in, 6 to go. You can hear these junior champs carts don't really breathe the throttle at all. It's very much a momentum kind of deal when they run this big oval. Not lifting at all, maybe very little, if any. Mackenzie Pringle continues to lead. Sam Bingham runs in the second spot. Maddie Nichols runs third. Talon Timberlake has caught Madison Bland for the fourth spot. Timberlake got sideways earlier off of turn number 2, spun it around into 360, collected the back half of the field, and she has worked her way back up to trying to take over that fourth spot into turn number 3. Terry Coletti's down here trying to finagle Colton Ritchie into flagging the rest of the night, and Terry's going to go over and drive that 21 machine. I don't think Colton's going to buy off on that one, though. Colton Ritchie, former karting series champion, two-time champion in this division. So definitely has the credentials to be on the flag stand, and it shows you what these kids can do. White flag for Mackenzie Pringle. This is definitely a starter series to move up into the big cars. Many of our drivers, youngsters, Colton Ritchie, Alex Rosenberry, Matthew Mills, have all moved up from this division. And off of turn number 4, put your hands together, Mackenzie Pringle. Dominant win for that number 75. Here comes your second place finisher, Sam Bingham. Third place finisher, Maddie Nichols. Talon Timberlake finished in the fourth spot, and Madison Bland rounding out the top 5. In the street stock division as Mackenzie Pringle pulls into downtown Ford Victory Lane. She's going to take a victory lap instead. And we'll talk to Mackenzie Pringle here in just 1 minute. Again, last call to get your 50-50 tickets. It will be drawn down here on the start-finish line after the senior clone feature of the Midvale Karting Series. So last call to do that. We'll pick a kid to come down and draw it. Matthew, you can be in the running to draw the ticket. As Dad Larry walks into Victory Lane, he struts himself into Victory Lane because his kid just picked up the feature victory on the big oval in the Sammy Sue's Barbecue. Talati Pipe, Van Fossen. JD Byrider, Macombs Market, sponsored number 75. And she'll take the helmet and belts off. Helmet comes off. Again, we said Mackenzie probably moving up into the street stocks next year. Larry told me earlier they already purchased one, so look for her next year to move up and do what Colton Ritchie's doing this year. Put your hands together for Mackenzie Pringle. Come here, kiddo. I told you it was good seeing family out here again, huh?
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what, this thing was just on fire.
Yeah, that's the fastest I went all week, like all year.
Like all year? Well, I'll tell you what, this thing is bad fast. Dad's got this thing hooked up. You guys do a great job.
Thank you.
Who you want to thank on this thing tonight?
I want to thank my sponsors, my mom and dad, and my boyfriend, Andrew.
Congratulations, kiddo.
Thank you.
Put your hands together once again. Mackenzie Pringle, your winner in the junior champ division here at Midvale Speedway tonight on week number 15. You can stop down and see these karts tomorrow afternoon here at Midvale Speedway, 1 o'clock start time for the Midvale Karting Series. Senior clones up next. Then we'll do our 50-50 drawing and move into feature action of our regular 5 divisions. Matthew, what do you think, man? How many kids we got in this karting series that can move up?
I don't know. I've been spending most of my Sundays when I'm not at Mansfield. I'm here. These are up-and-coming stars of Midvale Speedway, and without the series, you won't have anything. I'm thinking about they're going to come up with a quarter midget division. Ryan Tedesco has one. I think I'm going to possibly try to purchase that for next year and have me a little fun on Sundays.
Hey, that sounds like a good plan. They'll come around to Chief Starter Colton Ritchie's green flag. 12-lap senior clone feature. Yeah, the draft does play a big part in these guys because they are absolutely to the floor, no lifting. Drafting is a huge part. When I say they're an inch off of the guy in front of them's butt, they are literally an inch off their butt. Mitch Romar, Bambi Romar, Mark Romar, Brandon Wood, Merchant, top four, take the green flag, 12-lap feature. Shoemaker trying to make a run in the middle. Shoemaker in the white machine. Gary Shoemaker trying to get up to the front. He's up to second. Way on the outside. Down on the rumble strips is the 10-4 machine. Your race leader, the number one of Mitch Romar. Gary Shoemaker to the bottom. Here comes Shoemaker. Off turn two, down the back straightaway, side by side Romar and Shoemaker. Shoemaker ducks back in to get that draft through turns 3 and 4. At the line, it is Romar by inches over Shoemaker. Those two starting to pull away. There goes Romar up the racetrack again. Shoemaker to the inside. Can't get that run. Here comes the 22 of Menier. Up into the 5th spot. Menier now to 4th. Side by side for the race lead once again off turn number 2. Mitch Romar, your leader in the 1. Gary Shoemaker to the bottom in the white machine. At the line, Romar by inches. Shoemaker in the 84. Here comes Menier. Top 3 now, nose to tail. Romar, Shoemaker, Menier, your front 3. Menier takes a look to the inside of the 84 of Shoemaker. Thought better of it. Front 3 stay nose to tail. Battle back in the pack for the 4th spot. Menier now will take over the 2nd spot from Shoemaker. The 2 yellow machines halfway home. 6 in, 6 to go. The 10-4 of Mark Romar into the 4th spot. Good battle for 5th. All eyes on the front 2 machines. The 88B of Brandon Wood Merchant in that silver machine moves up to the 4th spot. The 55 of Scott Kane in the orange machine now moves up to 4th. So Wood Merchant, Kane, and the 56 of Lee Walters all battle for that 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th spots with the 10-4 of Romar. Mitch Romar is not your race leader at the line. The 22 of Rick Menier, your race leader at the line, but Romar going to pull back out in front down the back straightaway. Gary Shoemaker kind of losing a little bit of ground to the front 2. 2 laps to go. Will we have a photo finish? Menier leads at the line. Romar runs second. He's going to battle back to the outside. Shoemaker trying to reel in the front 2. Only a lap and a third to do it. White flag. Menier at the line. Who's going to win it? Down the back straightaway. Final time. Romar on the high side. Menier on the bottom. Into turn number 3. Does lap traffic play a part? Off turn number 4, your winner is going to be Rick Menier. Rick Menier in the 22 will be your winner. Mitch Romar in the number 1 finishes second. Gary Shoemaker in the 84 finishes in the 3rd spot. 50-50 ticket here at the start-finish line. So please have the Rolling Thunder members that have the 50-50 tickets come down to the start-finish line, and we'll draw that 50-50 number and get on with our feature action as Rick Minier in the number 22 is your winner. Going to take his victory lap, and we'll interview him in victory lane in just a minute. How about a big round of applause for Colton Ritchie, the Midvale Karting Series flagman, and currently the point leader in the street stock division. We wish him nothing but the best of luck as he goes after his first title as a rookie and tries to beat fellow rookie, the birthday boy, Kyle Grove, as they battle for this championship down to the wire. The winner in the number 22, as he gets his belts off, gets the helmet undone, takes the gloves off, the skull gloves. I like it. He's going to climb out. Maybe. It's got to be a long ride in that thing sitting like that. No?
No, piece of cake.
Piece of cake, he says. Well, we'll talk to him as soon as he gets his helmet off and all of his safety devices. Put your hands together for your senior clone winner, Rick Minier. I tell you what, that was pretty fun and exciting. You just kind of patient the first couple laps. Worked your way up through. You got by Shoemaker. And then you set your sights on Romar, and I'll tell you what, you just got him at the line.
That's all I have to do is just get him at the line.
I'll tell you what, that's fun. How big of a part does drafting play for you guys? Because it sure looks like from the stand side that it plays a big part.
Yep, it plays a big part. So having your cart set up to go through the corners is the key to everything.
And basically a lot of momentum, too. Foot all the way to the floor for the whole 12 laps, right?
It's just like running Daytona. If you lift, you're going to the back.
Congratulations, man. Who you want to thank on his 22 tonight?
Well, I want to thank my girlfriend, Teresa, and a couple other friends that have helped me along the way.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Your winner once again in your senior clone division. Put your hands together for Rick Minier. Hey, you go get that 21 souped up for the feature, man.
Yeah.
It's time to, I told you, peaks and valleys, right? We said that at the beginning of the year. You've had your peaks. You've been in a valley. Now it's time to go back to the peak.
Yeah, definitely coming out of the valley. It's been a long valley.
It has, but you know what? You've done a nice job still holding a point lead. Good luck tonight, kid.
Thanks.
Colton Ritchie. Chief starter Terry Coletti. Is Colton Ritchie going to come up and do a little flagging? 15-year-old point leader. Normal flagging for the Midvale Karting Series. Going to throw the green for him. And the green is out. We got the 13 machine is Talon Timberlake. Talon Timberlake in the 13. The 7 is Maddie Nichols. The 75 is Mackenzie Pringle. The 4 is Madison Plant. And the 3 is Sam Bingham. Mackenzie Pringle, your race leader. Pringle crosses the start-finish line. The number 13 of Talon Timberlake runs in the second spot. Maddie Nichols runs third. Oh, sideways. In turn number 2 is Talon Timberlake. She puts her machine pointed back in the right direction. Mackenzie Pringle with a big lead in the 75. Good battle for second between the 7 of Maddie Nichols and the 3 of Sam Bingham. Also the 4 of Madison Bland right there. The 13 of Talon Timberlake putting in the spot. Now running at the back of the field. 12-lap feature for our junior champs of the Midvale Karting Series. They'll run their event tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. You can see the chief starter Colton Ritchie on the flag stand. Our points leader, 2-time feature winner this year, rookie driver in the street stock division. Pringle way out in front, that 75. a lap lead over second place runner in that number 3 machine is Sam Bingham. Bingham into 3, runs in the second spot, then Matty Nichols runs third. Madison Bland in the 4th spot. And rounding out the field, Talon Timberlake. Halfway home. 6 in, 6 to go. You can hear these junior champs cars don't really breathe the throttle at all. It's very much a momentum kind of deal when they run this big oval. Not lifting at all, maybe very little if any. Mackenzie Pringle continues to lead. Sam Bingham runs in the 2nd spot. Matty Nichols runs 3rd. Talon Timberlake has caught Madison Bland for the 4th spot. Timberlake got sideways earlier off of turn number 2, spun it around into 360, collected the back half of the field, and she has worked her way back up to trying to take over that 4th spot into turn number 3. Terry Coletti's down here trying to finagle Colt Ritchie into flagging the rest of the night. Terry's going to go over and drive that 21 machine. I don't think Colt's going to buy off on that one though. Former karting series champion, 2-time champion in this division. So definitely has the credentials to be on the flag stand, and this shows you what these kids can do. White flag for Mackenzie Pringle. This is definitely a starter series to move up into the big cars. Many of our drivers, youngsters, Colton Ritchie, Alex Rosenberry, Matthew Mills, all moved up from this division. And off of turn number 4, put your hands together, Mackenzie Pringle! Dominant win for that number 75. Here comes your 2nd place finisher, Sam Bingham. 3rd place finisher, Matty Nichols. Talon Timberlake finished in the 4th part in these guys because they are absolutely to the floor, no lifting. Drafting is a huge part. When I say they're an inch off of the guy in front of them's butt, they are literally an inch off their butt. Mitch Romar, Bambi Romar, Mark Romar, Brandon Wood, Merchant, top 4, take the green flag, 12-lap feature. Shoemaker trying to make a run in the middle. Shoemaker in the white machine. Gary Shoemaker trying to get up to the front. He's up to 2nd. Way on the outside. Down on the rumble strips is the 10-4 machine. Your race leader. The number 1, Mitch Romar. Gary Shoemaker to the bottom. Here comes Shoemaker. Off turn 2 down the back straightaway. Side by side Romar, Shoemaker. Shoemaker ducks back in to get that draft through turns 3 and 4. At the line, it is Romar. By inches over Shoemaker. Those two start to pull away. There goes Romar up the racetrack again. Shoemaker to the inside. Can't get that run. Here comes the 22 of Manier. Up into the 5th spot. Manier now to 4th. Side by side for the race lead once again on turn number 2. Mitch Romar, your leader, into 1. Gary Shoemaker to the bottom in the white machine. At the line, Romar by inches. Shoemaker in the 84. Here comes Manier. Top 3 now, nose to tail. Shoemaker, Manier, your first 3. Manier takes a look to the inside of the Center of it, front three stay, nose to tail, battle back to the back for the 4th spot. Mid-Air now will take over the 2nd spot from Shoemaker. The 2 yellow machines, halfway home. 6 in, 6 to go. The 10-4 of Mark Romar into the 4th spot. Good battle for 5th. All eyes on the front 2 machines. The 88 Via Brandon Wood Merchant in that silver machine moves up to the 4th spot. The 55 of Scott Kane in the orange machine now moves up to 4th. So Wood Merchant, Kane, and the 56 of Lee Walters all battle for that 4th, 6th, and 7th spots. With the 4 via the 10-4 of Romar. Mitch Romar is not your race leader at the line. The 22 of Rick Minier, your race leader at the line, but Romar going to pull back out in front down the back straightaway. Gary Shoemaker kind of losing a little bit of ground in the front, too. 2 laps to go. We have a photo finish. Minier leads at the line. Romar runs second. He's going to battle back to the outside. Shoemaker trying to reel in the front 2. Only a lap and a third to do it. White flag. Minier at the line. Who's going to win it? Down the back straightaway. Final time. Romar on the high side. Minier on the bottom. Into turn number 3. Does lap traffic play a part? Off turn number 4. Your winner is going to be Rick Minier. Rick Minier in the 20. With the same movie made in the heat race. Jay Berg going to lead. Leinert and Cordia battle for the 2nd spot. Cordia going to take Leinert way up the racetrack. And here comes the 118 of Locker, not wasting any time. Off turn number 4, Cody Jayberg going to lead lap number 1. Joe Leinert runs 2nd, Cordia in 3rd. 3-way battle for the top spot, now a 2-way battle. Now a 3-way battle once again. Here comes Colt Locker. 3 wide through turns 3 and 4. The 82 of Leinert trying to hold him up there. Now the 82 is going to take that lead into turn number 1. Colt Locker to the outside of Joe Leinert. Leinert leads at the line. Here comes Colt Locker. Around the outside, around the outside, around the outside. Leinert trying to hold him up on the outside. But it's not going to do it. A lot of power in that 118 truck. Colt Locker, your new race leader. Leinert runs 2nd. Cody Jayberg holding on to the 3rd spot. Keith Anderson 4th. Derek Cordia in 5th. And Michael Varnes in 6th. Keith Anderson will take over the 3rd spot from Cody Jayberg. Jayberg doing a great job tonight. Nice to see that young man who's had an up and down season in that 22 truck having some good runs tonight in week number 15 as he builds confidence for next year. The 118 of Colt Locker already has 2 feature wins under his belt and a 3rd for his dad, who drove that 118 truck a couple of weeks ago. And Joe Leinert with a good 2nd place run last week. Looks like he's going to finish 2nd tonight once again. The 32 of Keith Anderson in the feature winning truck from a week ago that Dusty Nicholas piloted. Anderson runs in the 3rd spot. Jayberg still holding on to 4th in front of Varnes and the 72 of Cordia. So as the laps tick away, 3 to go at the line this time for Colt Locker. Joe Leinert, Keith Anderson, Cody Jayberg, the front 4 machines. Good battle for the 4th spot with 2 to go. Jayberg to the outside. Cordia door slams him in turn number 1. He'll take over the 4th spot. White flag for the 118 of Colt Locker. Joe Leinard, Keith Anderson, and then that 4th place battle between Cordia and Jayberg. Off turn number 4, your winner, Colt Locker. Pretty good race until Colt Locker got out in front, and then he kind of stunk the show up. But that's okay. He's allowed to. As he'll take his victory lap. How about a good second place run? Smoking Joe Leinard in the 82. Good run, my man. And a good third place run by your point leader, Keith Anderson. And the man of the week. He gets to brag on Facebook all week long in the Townhouse drive-thru and general store of Summerdale, Ohio. Thank you to veterans and Locker Racing, sponsored number 118, getting the belts undone. The helmet's already off. Put your hands together for Colt Locker. Come here, man. Well, it was a good race till you decided to stink everything up and run away.
Yeah, the track's actually getting a lot better now that it's going down. This truck is a different machine at night. Once the track cools down, it starts hooking up.
Well, and that was the problem with this truck back when the Bertrams had it. The truck was just so loose when it was hot out. But then once everything would cool down, this truck really just took off. And you proved that once again tonight.
Yeah.
Who you want to thank on this 118?
I want to thank the Townhouse drive-thru in Summerdale, Bolivar Performance, and I want to thank Mike Rainsberg for letting me use the garage and maintain the truck, and my dad for helping me set it up.
And winning a feature earlier. Your dad won a feature earlier this year.
Yeah. About 5-6 weeks ago, yeah.
That was pretty good. So it's always cool to share a ride with your dad, man.
Yeah. It works out like that.
Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you.
Colt Locker in victory lane once again in your mini truck division. Sorry, Mr. Bailey, I didn't mean to step in your photo. Or Mrs. Smith. Didn't mean to step in your photo neither. Colt Locker in victory lane, late models firing up pit side. The 53 is Mike Miller, the 45 Gary Hoopengartner, the 48 of G. Monar Jr., the 17 of Bob Snyder Jr., the 69 of Bob the Animal Eichel. Good field of late models. They'll run 50 laps next week. Tonight they run 30. Field into turn number 3, Ripley and Hughes. Off turn number 4, green flag is in the air. Ripley will pull the race lead off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Here comes Mills. Ripley will lead lap number 1. Matthew Mills up to second. The 32 of Glenn Galt Jr. up to third. Then a battle between the 03 of Hughes, the 42 of Stankiewicz, and the 1 of Bryant Smith. Caution in turn number 4 for the 69 of Bob the Animal Eichel. So here's where it gets interesting. Ripley will choose the inside lane. Mills will choose outside. Hughes will choose inside. Galt will choose outside. Smith will choose outside. Stankiewicz inside. Ritter outside. Rosenberry inside. Smith outside. Tedesco inside. So switches it up just a little bit. One lap in, 29 to go. Todd Ripley, Matthew Mills, Johnny Hughes, Glenn Galt Jr., Tom Stankiewicz, Bryant Smith, your front six machines. 29 to go. As they look for a restart, green flag from Chief Starter Terry Coletti. Green is in the air. Matthew Mills gets a great restart. He will clear the 22 and drop to the bottom lane. Now Ripley will pull to the infield. Matthew Mills leads. Glenn Galt Jr. in second. Tough break for Todd Ripley in the 22. Early race leader broke on the restart. He pulls to the infield. Matthew Mills, your race leader. Glenn Galt Jr. runs second. Tom Stankiewicz and Johnny Hughes side by side for the third spot. Here comes Rosenberry. Mills with some sparks and a very loose tail end of that machine. Problems for Tom Stankiewicz in the 42 as he has some issues. Something wrong in the rear end of the 42, possibly a broken shock or something on Tom Stankiewicz as the front two leaders pulling away. Caution for the 42 of Tom Stankiewicz. Something broke in that rear end of that machine. He's hanging on to the third spot, but something amiss on the Stankiewicz 42 machine. Matthew Mills, your race leader. Who was running in the third spot. And they'll choose their lane once again. Rosenberry, what lanes will they choose? Mills will go to the bottom. Galt to the high side, Rosenberry to the bottom, Smith to the outside. Ritter to the bottom, Hughes to the outside. Tedesco inside, Smith inside, Miller outside. What happens on this restart? 24 laps to go. Matthew Mills at the point with a very loose race car.
Get up there, 32.
Off turn number 4, green is back in the air. Galt gets a good run on the outside off of turn number 2. Side by side for the race lead. Mills, Galt, Rosenberry, Smith. Your front 4 machines. Mills is going to clear him. Here comes the 2 of Rosenberry. Galt trying to battle back on the outside lane. Rosenberry is there for second. Galt just powers into the corners. Mills loose off of 4. Rosenberry nowhere to go right now in that third spot. Galt battles back to the outside of Mills. Glenn Galt Jr. to the outside of Mills. Galt way up the racetrack, has to check up. Rosenberry takes over the second spot. Matthew Mills, your race leader. Rosenberry in second. Galt back to third. Ritter up to fourth. Bryant Smith in fifth. Here comes Rosenberry for the race lead. Into turn number 3. Rosenberry on the high side. Mills on the bottom. Two of the youngsters from New Philadelphia High School. Both drivers moved up from the Midvale karting series as Jonathan Ritter takes over the third spot from Glenn Galt Jr. Mills trying to hold on. Halfway home, 15 down, 15 to go. Rosenberry leads at the line. Rosenberry gonna clear Mills. New race leader Alex Rosenberry looking for 2 in a row as Galt and Ritter battle for the third spot. Alex Rosenberry, your race leader. Matthew Mills runs second. Glenn Galt Jr. trying to work his way back up on the outside of the racetrack for the third spot to get back around Jonathan Ritter. Bubba Smith runs fifth. Ryan Tedesco sixth. Bryant Smith seventh. Mike Miller eighth. Johnny Hughes ninth. Gary Hoopengarner 10th as Gene Monar Jr. pulls pit side. Rosenberry continues to pull away out front. 10 laps to go this time. 10 more circuits for Alex Rosenberry, looking for 2 in a row. Best battle on the racetrack for the fourth spot. Bubba Smith to the outside of Jonathan Ritter for the fourth spot. Bubba Smith will take over fourth, and here comes Tedesco on the outside of Ritter for fifth. Six laps to go for Alex Rosenberry, who has a little more than a half a straightaway lead over Matthew Mills. Glenn Galt Jr. closing in for that second spot. Bubba Smith runs fourth. Ryan Tedesco fifth. Jonathan Ritter sixth. Brian Smith in seventh. 5 more circuits to go. Rosenberry gets through lap traffic. Bubba Smith, Ryan Tedesco have closed in on that second place battle between Mills and Galt. Bubba Smith to the outside of Galt as they're going to encounter lap traffic. Galt way up high off of turn number 4 opens up the bottom. He closes the door on Bubba Smith in turn number 1 through lap traffic. White flag for Alex Rosenberry. Matthew Mills, Glenn Galt Jr., Bubba Smith, Ryan Tedesco, your top 5. Into turn number 3. Off turn number 4. 2 in a row for Alex Rosenberry. Matthew Mills will finish second. Bubba Smith will finish third. Glenn Galt Jr. fourth. And Ryan Tedesco in fifth. Most of the first half of this race, once Alex Rosenberry got around Galt Jr., he got around Mills and picked up the win. How about a big round of applause for Matthew Mills? Good second place run. How about a good third place run for Bubba Smith? Your point leader in that number 12 finishes third. In the flight test, Rosenberry, sponsored number 2 machine, getting the belts undone, helmet off, wheels already off. 2 weeks in a row. As he gets ready to come back here for the JD Byrider 75 in the main event racing series. He picked up a win last year in the main event racing series here at Midvale Speedway. Climbing out, put your hands together for New Philadelphia's Alex Rosenberry. Man, that was pretty fun.
You're not Hot Rod anymore.
I guess not. I guess you took the nickname over. That's okay, though, because you showed it tonight.
Yeah, car was really good the past 2 weeks. Struggled the beginning part of the year here, but finally figured it out. Was starting to think the other car we ran here last year was beginning to get better, but we figured it out, and we're running pretty good. Car was on a rail all night long. Might not have been the fastest car in the feature. Started to lose brake pedal, but have to get that worked out before the 75 lapper. Not too bad. Just got to thank Flight Test, my mom, dad, Larry, he's still in Bristol, Todd, grandma, grandpa, uncle, everybody that's been a part of this. Hopefully we can go do it tomorrow at Mansfield.
Talk about a little bit about the run. Once, Mills was doing a good job up front, but looked like he was loose really bad, especially coming off of turn number 4. Galt was to his outside. He's got that crate motor. You were just sitting there biding your time, and once Galt had to check up off of 2, that opened up the lane for you. You went to the outside of Mills, and after a couple laps, you disposed of him. Man, what a move.
Yeah, on that caution, I wasn't really sure if I wanted to go to the outside or go to third. I knew the crate motor would struggle on the start. That's kind of why I picked the inside. I wasn't sure how good Mills was, and looked like he was running Galt up the track, and then when I got on the outside of him, he kind of ran me up coming out of here 4. But nothing too bad. Yeah, I took advantage of, I don't know if Galt got loose down there or what, but took advantage of that and then just was able to ride on the outside of Mills and ran around him.
2 in a row.
We'll make it 3 tomorrow.
Sounds good.
Thanks.
Alex Rosenberry, your McIntosh Oil Company late model feature winner. Again, if you're not doing anything tomorrow night, head up to Mansfield Speedway as the main event racing series will run up there. You'll be able to see this number 2 machine. I forgot to ask him, hey, Rosenberry, you bringing this car tomorrow or are you bringing the blue one? The blue one tomorrow. Okay, that'll be interesting. As Alex will head up to Mansfield tomorrow for the main event racing series 100-lapper up there. And if you can't go to Mansfield, stop down here and watch the Midvale karting series tomorrow afternoon. The 6 is Dakota Hunter. The 38 is Brandon France. The 56 is Garrett Durbin. The 30 of Corey Heron pulls pit side. And rounding out the field is the 11 of Butts. Green flag is in the air. Van Meter with a good start. He'll go into turn number 1, but here comes the Turtle Jake Albright battling back on the bottom of the racetrack. Van Meter slides way upstairs. Finlayson trying to look for a hole. Off turn number 4, who's going to lead lap number 1? It is going to be the 27 of Britt Van Meter. Brett Van Meter, your race leader. Good battle for second as here comes Kyle Finlayson. Finlayson in the 15, not able to close the door on the Turtle. And the Turtle trying to battle back for the race lead on the inside lane. Team car with Alan Clark right behind him and Blaine Salisbury in the 5th spot. Larry Ennis Jr., your fastest qualifier, and the point leading number 50 is right there. And here comes the Turtle for the race lead. Albright, Van Meter, side by side into turn number 3. Van Meter sideways in turn 3. The 69 of the Turtle is going to be your race leader. Alan Clark up to second. Larry Ennis Jr., Blaine Salisbury battle for the third spot. Caution on the speedway. Debris on the front straightaway is Jason Neely will go down and pick that up just at the entrance of turn number 1. Where is Albright going to go? I'll bet you he takes the bottom. He is. Clark will take the bottom. That will move the 50 of Ennis Jr. up to the front row. Him and Van Meter both choose the outside lanes. Salisbury chooses inside. Of Christian Bailey. Then the 15 of Kyle Finlayson, the 28 of Joe Fuchs, the 21 of Gage Jayberg. Four laps in, 16 to go. Green flag off of turn number 4 in the Canton Auto Salvage. Compact feature. Albright has the lead through turn number 1 and 2. And here comes Ennis. Larry Ennis Jr. to the outside of the 69 off of turn number 4. Larry Ennis Jr., your new race leader. Ennis will take the race lead. Here comes Blaine Salisbury in the number 4. Here comes Salisbury for second. Blaine Salisbury to the inside of the 69, and caution on the speedway between the 38 of Brandon France and James Butts in the 11. Ennis will take the inside. So will Albright. The 4 of Salisbury will go to the outside. Clark to the inside. Finlayson to the outside. The 69 runs third in points with Turtle Albright behind the wheel tonight. Then the 15 of Finlayson. He's in the top 5 as well. Green flag back in the air. Ennis, Salisbury into turn number 1. Salisbury tries to battle on the high side. Ennis gets a good run on the bottom. Down the back straightaway, half a car length lead for Larry Ennis Jr. Ennis and Salisbury side by side off of 4. Larry Ennis Jr. at the line. Ennis will clear the 4 of Salisbury off turn number 2. Caution in turn number 2 as the 19 of Clayton Oliver lost a wheel. Van Meter and Shalosky in row 4. Off turn number 4. Green flag from Chief Starter Jason Neely is back out. Salisbury gets the run on the outside, but off of turn number 2, Larry Ennis Jr. side by side for the race lead. Finlayson in second. Clark in third. I'm sorry, Finlayson in third, Clark in fourth. And then Albright in 5th. Still side by side for the race lead, Larry Ennis Jr., Blaine Salisbury. Salisbury and Ennis Jr., great battle for the race lead. Salisbury inches ahead through turn number 3 off of 4. Ennis going to pull ahead at the line at Salisbury. Ennis Jr. trying to hold that number 4 up towards the top side of the racetrack. At the line this time, Salisbury again by mere inches. As the front 2 leaders side by side starting to pull away from Kyle Finlayson in 3rd. Alan Clark runs 4th. Britt Van Meter 5th. Then the 69 of Jake Albright, the 46 of Christian Bailey, the 21 of Gage Jayberg. Larry Ennis Jr. finally does clear the 4 of Salisbury. Salisbury trying to get another run on the outside lane. Ennis continues to lead at the line. Salisbury again alongside in the outside lane. Ennis and Salisbury putting on a great show up front in your Canton Auto Salvage compact feature. 5 laps to go. 5 to go. Will lap traffic come into play? Hopefully not, because this is a great battle up front. Moving closer and closer to Garrett Durbin in that 56. And Durbin almost stops on the front straightaway. Salisbury does have to check up a little bit. Tries to look to the inside lane of Ennis. Doesn't make it work. He'll go back to the outside. Finlayson closing in a little bit in that 15. Three-way battle shortly for the race lead with only 3 laps to go. Larry Ennis Jr. continues to hang on. Get your cameras ready. We could have a photo finish in the compact feature. White flag off of turn number 4. The lap machine of Hunter Corbett a little bit ahead of the race leaders. Corbett's going to go way high up the racetrack. Salisbury going to dive to the bottom. Down the back straightaway, Ennis pushes him down in the grass. Ennis and Salisbury. Turn number 3 for the final time. Off turn number 4, your winner, Larry Ennis Jr. Salisbury finishes second. The 15 of Kyle Finlayson finishes third. Alan Clark fourth. And the 69 of Jake Albright in fifth. How about get down here and give the boy a big old hug?
You know I will.
As he'll get the checkered flag. How about a round of applause for Blaine Salisbury? First last week, second this week, did everything he could. What a great run by that number 4 team. Blaine Salisbury did everything he could to get around that number 50, just couldn't make it work. How about a good third place run, Kyle Finlayson? And your winner in the Oliver's Garage, Note Tuning, Terrace Hair Care, Stewart's Flooring, Bad Boys Sandblaster sponsored number 50. First career feature victory. Climbing out, put your hands together for Larry Ennis Jr. What a way to pick up your first, man. That was exciting.
Yeah, that was. I'm shaking.
I'll tell you what, you and Blaine put on a great show up front. Man, he tried and tried and tried, but you did everything you needed to do to keep this thing on the bottom. Tell me about it.
I started pushing. That's why we kept getting together. I was trying to keep it off him, but I was trying to, take him as high as I could so I could keep the bottom. And then seeing him trying to do the crossover a couple times, I knew he was back there, though.
I told your dad you did what he couldn't do in this car last week.
Yeah.
Congratulations, man. Now Wes has got one, or he's got a couple. Joe's got a couple. Now you got one.
Yeah.
Congratulations, buddy.
Thanks, bud.
Put your hands together for Larry Ennis Jr. So Philip Cox looking for his first career feature victory. Been oh so close the last couple of weeks. He'll start on the pole. First time feature winner Lucas Ripley this season starts alongside. Then Mike Green, feature winner last week. The 21 of Allensworth picked up a feature victory earlier this year. Lee McCurry has multiple feature victories, and Glenn Jewell, former champion in the modified division here, big motored modified division, back when we had it in the 90s. Bob Sibla Jr., your fastest qualifier, getting ready to go green off of turn number 4. 25-lap feature is green. Ripley going to get a great run off of turns 1 and 2. Cox sideways. Everybody checks up and keeps going. Lucas Ripley, your race leader. Allensworth up to second. Green third. Lee McCurry fourth. Cox back to fifth. Bryce Allensworth is there. Ripley leads. Allensworth second. Green runs third. McCreary fourth. Philip Cox in fifth. Sibla in sixth. Jewell in seventh. Contact between the front two. In turn 3, Allensworth to the inside of Ripley. Bryce Allensworth and Ripley made a little bit of contact, and Allensworth going to take the race lead. Bryce Allensworth starting to pull away from the second place battle of Lucas Ripley and Mike Green. Lee McCurry looking for a place to go. Runs in the fourth spot. Philip Cox in fifth. Sibla Jr. sixth. Glenn Jewell seventh. Hutchison runs eighth. Bailey runs ninth. And a caution on the speedway. Caution for debris in turn number 1. Eight laps complete. Allensworth will choose inside, Ripley outside, Green inside, McCreary outside, Cox inside, Sibla outside, Jewell outside, Hutchison to the inside. So a little bit of a shake-up, not much, other than the fact of the 6 of Matt Hutchison moves up to the inside. He moves up a spot on Glenn Jewell. Outside of row number 3, looking for the restart green flag from Matthew Mills. Green is in the air. Side by side off of turn number 2. Allensworth, Ripley into turn number 3. Allensworth inches ahead off of turn number 4 and will clear the 0. Allensworth, your race leader. McCreary tries to take over that third spot from Green and will off of turn number 2. Move Lee McCreary to third. I'm sure he's going to choose the bottom. I'm sure Ripley's going to choose the top. And they do. McCreary will choose the bottom. Green the top. Sibla the top. Cox the bottom. little bit of bumper tag before the start. Off turn number 4. Green flag back in the air. Allensworth and Ripley. Ripley trying to hang with him down the back straightaway. Allensworth will move up. Almost open the bottom lane for McCreary. Glenn Jewell pulls pit side. Tough break for Glenn Jewell as he pulls pit side. Philip Cox tries to get to the inside of Mike Green for the 4th spot. Joe Slentz in the 46 spins to the infield. Allensworth starting to pull away. McCreary will look to the outside of Ripley in turn number 1. Here comes McCreary. To the outside of Ripley. Turn number 3. Field in turn number 3. Allensworth and Ripley looking for Matthew Mills's green flag, and it's in the air. Allensworth gets a really good restart. He will clear Ripley off of turn number 2. Ripley will fall back into the bottom lane in second spot in front of Lee McCreary. 10 to go. Pick your poison. And the front 2 will stay normal. And then the second 2. And the third 2. If you're a betting man, would you bet that they'll go all 10 laps under the green flag? Gary says yes. Jason says yes. I don't know what Terry said. But green flag off of turn number 4. Allensworth and Ripley. Ripley trying to get back alongside the 21, not going to make it work. Does he open the bottom lane for McCreary? No. Ripley slams the door on McCreary. Cox tries to get to the inside of Green once again, and Philip Cox is there for the 4th spot. Bryce Allensworth continues to pull away. Five laps to go for Bryce Allensworth. Lucas Ripley, Lee McCreary, Mike Green, Philip Cox, Bob Sibla Jr., Matt Hutchison, Brandon Bailey, Sean Kaufman, Mike Bowers, Braden Swaney, and Keith Krebs. Bob Sibla Jr. trying to get around the 09 of Philip Cox for the 5th spot. Unable to make it work. Philip Cox on a string of top 5s here. Doesn't want to give that one up. Allensworth going to pick up some points on Bob Sibla Jr., hoping that Philip Cox hangs on to that top 5. Final circuit for Bryce Allensworth. into turn number 3. Off turn number 4, second career feature victory for Bryce Allensworth. Lucas Ripley, Lee McCreary, Mike Green, and Philip Cox round out the top 5. If you said that they would run the last 10 laps under the green flag, you would be correct. How about a good second place run by Lucas Ripley in the 0? Matthew Mills gives the checkered flag to Bryce Allensworth as he takes his victory lap. In the Dinkerbell finishes 3rd. How about a big round of applause for 3rd place finisher Dinkerbell, Lee McCreary. And pulling to the line in the Star Strategy Safe Money Management sponsored number 21. Currently 2nd in points. Shaved some off of that point lead tonight as Sibla finished outside of the top 5. Wheel comes off, undoing the Hans device and the helmet. The belt's coming off. 2nd career modified feature victory for youngster Bryce Allensworth. Here he is. Let him hear you. Bryce Allensworth! As he just received a concussion from one of his crew members. Man, 2nd career feature victory. I didn't get to be here for the first one, but I'm glad I was here for the second one.
This is awesome.
So what did you think about the choosing the lane thing?
I was sticking with the bottom.
Well, I knew you was sticking with the bottom, but what if you was in 2nd or 3rd? What would you have done?
Probably went to the outside.
Probably would have went to the outside. Everybody behind you kind of stayed status quo. Nobody took a bold move. That was good for you because you had the best car on the bottom.
Yeah, this car was definitely hooked up. My dad did a great job. My friggin' uncle, he busts his butt. They bust their butt all week at work. I don't even know if they work sometimes. They're working on the race car all day.
Who else you want to thank on this 21?
Star Strategies, first off. They're the best sponsor out there. They always get what we need, and they're always there for us. Murph, Danera, John, all Uncle Jim, Aunt Lind, all my fans. And that's about it.
And that's about it. Tell me, what was the racetrack like now that the weather cooled down a little bit? Probably the coolest we've seen since the springtime. Did you have to adjust to that?
Well, the car always hooks up better whenever it's cool. We always like running under the lights. We don't like the early races, so it was good.
Well, we put you almost to the end tonight.
That's good. Yeah.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Bryce Allensworth, your modified feature winner. It looks like an IndyCar front wing or something on that thing.
That was funny.
Shut up, Mills. Since Mills took a shot at me, I'll take a shot back at him. At least I didn't pass tech. Burn! Hey, he started it. One more feature remaining. Street stop. Either that or pizza could be on David tonight. Either or. Barker and Passwaters Jr., 20 lap. Street stock feature is green. Barker will take the lead into turn number 1. He's going to slide up the racetrack, open up the bottom for Teddy Oliver. Here comes Teddy Oliver into turn number 3. First time out this season in that number 44 for Larry Smith. Sideways off of turn number 4. He'll be the race leader. Kyler Bertram up to the second spot. Bob Passwater Sr. to third. 3 wide. Down the back straightaway, Grove, Passwaters Jr., Ritchie, Barker, Moss. Teddy Oliver in the number 44, your race leader, Kyler Bertram, runs second. Bob Passwater Sr. in third. Kyle Grove in fourth. Colton Ritchie in fifth. Caution on lap number 5 for the 44 of Teddy Oliver. We have a scoring monitor up here that monitors the times from the transponders. And once you run 2 laps under your qualifying time, it lets us know. And that is the reason for the caution. So the 44, 2 laps under his qualifying time by the transponder computer system. So Bertram takes the inside lane. Passwaters takes the inside lane. Grove will take the outside, and so will Ritchie. Grove looking to give himself a birthday present and pick up his 6th. Passwater Sr. looking for his 1st of the year. And Ritchie looking for his 3rd. Looking for that point lead to keep that point lead. Green is back in the air. Grove with a good restart. Going to power around the outside, move Kyle Grove to the front. Ritchie looking to the inside of Bertram, not able to make it work. Kyle Grove, your race leader. Kyle Grove, your race leader. Kyler Bertram runs second. Colton Ritchie runs third. Bob Passwater Sr. in fourth. And here comes Teddy Oliver back up to the 5th spot. Bertram sideways off of turn number 2, trying to stay with Grove. And that's going to allow Ritchie to close in for the 2nd spot. Passwater Sr. right there in 4th. Passwaters took a look to the inside of Ritchie. Bertram way up the racetrack, going to open up the bottom for Ritchie. Here comes Ritchie. Colton Ritchie to the inside of the 55 of Bertram. Off turn number 4. Contact in turn number 1 as the 55 closes the door on the 21 of Ritchie. Bertram will keep the 2nd spot. All kinds of contact between the 55 and 21 the last couple laps as Kyle Grove continues to pull away. Problems for Kylie Wood in the 22. Here comes Teddy Oliver. Oliver all the way back up to the 4th spot after getting the black flag earlier. Takes some contact from the 75 of Passwater Sr. Caution for the 55 of Kyler Bertram, closing the door on Teddy Oliver. On the front row, Grove, Ritchie, Passwaters Sr., Passwaters Jr., Moss, Barker, and Oliver. Off turn number 4, they'll see Chief Starter Jason Neely's green flag. Grove, your race leader. Ritchie runs second. Grove leads. Ritchie runs second. Passwaters Sr. third. Passwaters Jr. fourth. Teddy Oliver up to fifth. Passwaters Sr. and Ritchie battle for that second spot as Grove continues to pull away with 2 to go. Ritchie does not want to give up that spot to Passwaters, minimizing the damage. Passwaters looking to the outside now on Colton Ritchie. Problems for Ritchie, a little bit of smoke. Tough break for Colton Ritchie. Off turn number 4, Teddy Oliver slides sideways and is contacted. Caution on the speedway. Tough break for your point leader, Colton Ritchie. Maybe expired a motor down the back straightaway. Heartbreak for the 15-year-old rookie. Tough break for Colton Ritchie as he is pushed pit side in the number 21. Final restart coming for the JD Byrider Street Stocks. 2 laps remaining. Kyle Grove looking to pick up his 6th feature victory on his birthday. Green flag off of turn number 4, Grove and Passwater Sr. Passwaters gets a good restart down into turn number 1. Grove gets through the speedy dry and takes the race lead down the back straightaway into turn number 3. White flag this time for Kyle Grove. Final time down the back straightaway as Josh Moss looks to take over the 3rd spot on Passwaters Jr. into 3. Passwaters closes the door, slides up the racetrack. Kyle Grove will win a 6th feature. Bob Passwaters Sr., Jr., and Josh Moss. And then TJ Barker. JD Byrider Street Stock feature completed. How about a good second place run for the 75 of Passwater Sr.?
Watch out, Kaylee, let Chris come. Kaylee, watch out.
Okay. Good third place run by Bob Passwaters Jr. The Passwaters bring home second and third in the JD Byrider Street Stock feature. In the El Poblito Mexican Cuisine, South Philly Pizza, Greg's Recovery, JD Byrider, CNAC Financing. Sponsored number 3 for the 6th time, the birthday boy, Kyle Grove. What's up, birthday boy?
That's not till Monday.
It's close enough.
I feel pretty good right now.
Man, that was a good run. What do you think about that lane change thing? You ended up, I figured for sure Passwaters was going to take the top to kind of make you go on the bottom. Was that like a birthday gift that he gave you by giving you the outside?
Yeah, I'll have to thank him when I go over there. I thought for sure he'd go to the outside. I thought he knew I was right behind him, but I'd take it.
And then, you know, you cut some more points off of, you never want to see somebody have bad luck. I think Richie probably lost a motor. You're going to dig into that point lead. We'll have to see what happens next week, but talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, he's been driving pretty good this year. He's a good kid. It sucks to see him do that, but it's kind of good that we only had 8 cars for him, though.
Yeah, I know. I hear you. That's hopefully a lot of guys will come back from Bristol and get their cars back out for next week.
Yeah, hopefully.
Who you want to thank on this 3 tonight?
My dad, my girlfriend, my whole family for coming here, and all my sponsors.
Congratulations, bud.
Thanks.
6th win of the season. Your Street Stock feature winner, Kyle Grove. Almost felt like I was in the hills of Bristol with the echo. Echo, 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 echo. What's up, Em?
Hey, go down
So once again, join us next week. Guest Motors twin 50-lot features for the modifieds and late models. Please be careful, be safe going home. Have a great weekend.